Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and I'm Lee. That's Susan over there, wherever she appears on the screen. And this week we're sitting down to discuss a 2004 movie based on a book by a very famous author. Shall we say the author, Susan?
Yes, his name is Isaac Asimov.
Isaac Asimov, the father of, how do you describe him? The laws of robotics, shall we say?
Yes,
The three laws of robotics. There we go.
get there.
Uh,
We'll get there. I promise.
yes, so we're discussing iRobot, a story of suicide or murder by human hand or not human hand. Set now. This is 2025 we're in, but this movie is only set in 10 years' time. I don't think it's going to happen somehow. Not that technology. Um, but we'll we'll see. So yeah, this movie stars Will Smith in the lead. The voice of the android is Alan
Alan
Tudyk.
Tudyk again.
Again, an amazing actor. So we'll get onto that as we go along. So Susan, opening thoughts on I, Robot.
All right. Well, this is actually based on a story by Isaac Asimov. It's based on one of the ones in Robot Dreams, and this one's based on the idea that these robots are growing evolutional, in an evolutionary way into consciousness. And this one had achieved some degree of consciousness. It was run, I think it's in a parallel time stream with the Bicentennial Man, if not a little before the Bicentennial Man story. But these are all predecessors in the robot universe to the robot stories with Daniel Oliva and Elijah Bailey, the detective. And in this one, it's a detective with a robot augment arm, played by Will Smith. And just since I just mentioned Will Smith, we should discuss something that happened with Will Smith a couple of years ago at the Academy Awards, where Chris Rock was on stage, sort of being snarky, being a comedian, and actually taking the mick out of JD Smith, Will's wife, and just wanted to know, what was your experience, since we haven't really talked about that yet? What was your experience of the slap heard around the world?
Oh well, I thought he was bang out of order. Will Smith. Uh, Chris Rock was doing his job, being a comedian.
Mhm.
Um, and if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Um, but nowadays, freedom of speech is a no-no apparently in America. You know, but
I
it's happening here as well, Susan.
but like, to be really honest, it wasn't about something that I mean, it wasn't like he just heckled him. He actually got up out of his chair and
Yeah,
assaulted,
he assaulted him.
assaulted is when you say you're going to do something and then you do it, or you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it. But battery, the police law is battery when you don't say you're going to do something, but you do it, and you know, you assault somebody, you hit somebody, you brutalize them in some fashion. And so, I mean, he was really guilty of battery. And when Chris Rock came to Boston, like shortly after this, he was like, "I can't believe this. I just could not believe it happened." And so anyway, I wasn't in the audience, but I did. Our news crews did pick
Mm.
that up. The other thing that was really interesting about that and what's going on now is that Stephen Colbert was told that this is his last season, and he was given some time to due to some of the things that he said. But then Jimmy Kimmel, three weeks or 3 weeks later, making fun of this political situation that went on with the
It's,
unaliving of a guy who
it's
was a
called
political pundit
mm,
like a verbally abusive political pundit
mm,
uh, becoming unalived. Jimmy Kimmel was making fun of that whole situation, explaining that it was almost always these right white men who were doing this sort of thing, and there were almost always these people who are part of MAGA. And at that point, it pissed off our erstwhile leader, and he said, "That's it." And so he had his FCC head shut that down. So this was sort of like a progression.
mhm,
And you'll see a sort of progression in these robots, the robot revolution in this, it kind of has a similar feel. There's one thing that happens between one robot and one human being who's pushed out, who is, you know, ostensibly jumps out of a window and unalives himself on the floor of this whole robot company. And then his companion robot is accused of it in that by this character played by Will Smith, who was against robots. And so like this whole thing is about sort of about the same kind of political landscape. I mean, we haven't, as Isaac Asimov realized, we haven't really changed. We I don't think we he doesn't expect that we will change inside, the emotion, our emotional centers, our intellectual abilities, and our abilities to read minds will eventually get better, but our center here won't change. So yeah, so that's where that is. And yeah, that's really the start of this story. And then as it goes, the older robots are being pushed away by these new wave of robots. And these new waves of robots are being controlled by basically Sky Siri. And anyway, uh in that respect, it's very much the same way that the FCC and the ABC and CBS and all these things are corporate, and it's aiming for the takeover of the world, for the revolution. And just stay in your house and don't make a fuss and all that stuff. But you know, the other person in this story that's really interesting is or someone who works with the robots named Susan Calvin, who's actually like a robot psychologist, I guess. And so she's really interesting. And Sunny is her I mean, Sonny becomes her pride and joy in this, and but then there's what's his name? Shia LaBeouf is trying to become Detective Spooner's pride and joy, but he's just a foul mouthed little kid, and he's great. And this is one of my favorite, you know, um, Shia LaBeouf acting roles. Anyway, just because it's not very big, but he does like eat the scenery whenever he's on, and he's trying so hard, and it's so good. It's very good. It's a very good role, and he stands up. He actually goes at the head of the human horde that is trying to push back on the robot revolution, and that's really something. He becomes a hero. Anyway, um, fantastic movie. I really enjoyed it. And so back over to you, Lee, for the next
Yeah,
part.
I know you're a big fan of the Asimov theory, and this one does push the three laws to its limits. You know, can a robot actually kill a human being? Yeah.
Three laws. We're going to go to them. Go ahead.
uh,
Go ahead.
you know, can a robot actually kill a human being? Unless it's been told to, but then that goes against the other law. So it's very the laws are very contradicting to themselves anyway. Um, and I like the way it's sort of intertwined into this story because that is the main thing of this story is the three laws. Um, you say you've mentioned Will Smith. I'm not a big fan of his as an actor.
Oh,
Um, okay, yeah, he's been in several big blockbusters. Um, for me, I think that's just pure luck on his part. There is a lot of better actors out there, but he didn't do too bad in this. I did like at the beginning his apartment. It's because you're watching this and you think, oh, it's, just a normal apartment. There's,
Emily.
a PD player there. As there's an old shower bathroom and all like that. And then all of a sudden he's wearing his old trainers, what he's just got out of the box. And then he opens the doors and it's the future. There's robots everywhere. His apartment is set back in time. It's like a museum, isn't it? He's stuck in his ways. He doesn't like technology.
Well, he
Um,
likes technology, but he just likes the old stuff too.
that he just likes the old stuff. Personally, he likes the old stuff. He stays away from the technology as well because of what happened in the past.
Uh-huh.
We'll get to as we go along. This is which starts his paranoia of robots and his hatred of robots. Um, yeah, it's and he's called in to investigate this apparent suicide of what's his name, Doctor Lanning,
Planning.
played by the brilliant James Cromwell. It's always good to see James Cromwell in a movie, even if he is just a hologram in this one. Um, yeah, it's but he senses that there's something wrong here. It doesn't work out. Why was he called to to the suicide? Why how did he get through that window when it's absolutely toughened safety glass? You know, and then it's as you say, it's all these control of Sonny becoming sentient, having these emotions, which Dr. Lanning was the one who experimented and placed into the I was going to say soul of Sonny, but he sort of develops a soul, doesn't he? A heart and emotions after the doctor does something. I can't remember what it was now, but
It's in his positronic net.
yeah,
He creates a separate
it's a separate thing because it contradicts the three laws.
well
It's got two things going on.
right. And
So
the first law is that a robot cannot allow a human being to come to harm, or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Cannot harm a human being, or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. So yeah, his the the question of Sonny being able to overcome that first law with something like further down, it's just really interesting. So go ahead.
yeah, and that's sort of that first law goes to the when Will Smith's character was trapped in a car, and there was another cat in the river, yeah, in the water, and a robot was down there trying to save them, and the choice was, save. He told him to save the other person, but the robot saves him. I mean, I
Right,
suppose the robot made the choice to go for him, save him, and this is where these grudge, his hatred, because the robot left the other person to die. But the the robot saved a life. He couldn't. It was. I know. It just. It couldn't contradict the other law, could it? It did save a life. He didn't
right,
let both of them die. It
right,
saved life.
right,
So that's the first law. You've got to say, cannot harm.
right,
But when it's conflicted that there's two people in danger, what can you do?
right, exactly.
As I said,
And that brings up the second law of robotics, is that a robot must obey
yeah,
uh
unless it's
unless
contradicts
it
something.
it conflicts with the first law. So because Will couldn't use his mouth, because excuse me, what's Spooner couldn't use his mouth to speak that out. There was no way to override that first law and get him to shuff off and go to the other person. Um, it's the problem. It's why the movie put it underwater,
Yeah,
and it's why when Sonny is being talked to by Lanning forces Sonny to promise.
yeah,
I mean, he makes the obedience actually far more strategically huge than anything else that Sonny's supposed to do in terms of the laws.
yeah.
And that's interesting. So go on. Now you're into the next part.
Well, as I say, the next part you say he forced him, the android, as well as the movie goes on, to literally kill his creator. He forced him and promised him not to say or go to contradict anything in his
Mhm.
what do you call it, his.
Positronic net.
Yeah, so it was Sonny who pushed the doctor out the window
Right.
with that robotic strength.
Right.
Um, you do start to feel sorry for Sonny. Really, he's like he's in the middle, isn't he? He's not a scapegoat, but
Patsy.
yeah, yeah, and also
An innocent.
yeah, and also he's been experimented on. He,
Yeah.
he's a guinea pig. He's the first. He's the first of
Exactly.
yeah. Um, and you can see that emotions start to show, like when he's been interviewed in the police station, anger. I mean,
Mm.
robots aren't supposed to show emotions or anything like that.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, it is a good movie. And Alan Tudyk, for want of a better word, he is the leading the leading voice actor of many androids on film and TV,
Yes.
uh, and wonderfully great in Alien, Resident Alien as well. If you've ever seen that, but yeah, they always seem to go to Alan to do these
Yep.
androids and robots, and so
Yeah, and so the the guy who was sort of running the police station was Chi McBride, who played the lieutenant, and and he w- there was there was a lot of stuff going good with him. I mean, he he was trying to he was trying to intellectually assent to what Bruce Greenwood's character Lawrence Robertson was, and Robertson is part of US Robotics, which is it's kind of based on US Steel. It's the monopoly in charge of direct direct robots, just like US Steel was really the monopoly of steel companies. And his name Robertson is kind of like a robot. You think of him eventually as like one of the robots there because of all of his uh I mean he wasn't flexible at all, and he never learned. So I mean, like, you just like, oh,
and he really wasn't the villain of the piece.
not really.
No, no. I mean, okay, yeah, he was the head of the company, but there was certain things pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Uh-huh.
Some other intelligence,
Yeah.
which was
And
the
that was Vicky. And Vicky was playing off the other robots.
mhm,
Third law, the robots must survive. The robots must try to
yeah,
continue their existence unless it conflicted with the
the
second
first,
law of obedience or the first law of uh protecting human life.
yeah,
So this became a paradigm that Vicky just played with and played with and played with. And then by their rigidity and Robertson's inability to really figure out what the heck was going on behind the scenes in his own company,
yeah,
he didn't see that this was coming, and Vicky had gone rogue. You know, she decided that this was that humanity wasn't able to be protected by itself. Anyway,
yeah. Um,
played by Fiona Hogan. Don't really know. She hasn't done all that much stuff, but because they pixelated her and they turned her into like a three-dimensional cubist or cubic form, that was
mm,
really fun to, you know, she was kind of like the Matrix
yeah,
in so many, in so many ways. But and then what did you think of what did you think of the questions that they were asking Sonny were about uh robots creating symphonies, robots creating art, robots creating this. What do you think of that in terms of right now with where AI is actually doing that sort of thing?
Well, yeah, I mean that was, robots cannot do this and do this and do that, and he turned around and says, "Well, can you?" To was it to Will Smith? I think it was to Will Smith, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that just left Spooner just speechless.
Hmm.
Yeah, AI has come a long way. Um, a day doesn't go by now on social media or whatever when you hear a new song by John Lennon or Freddie Mercury, uh, AI, or you see a long dead actor in a new scene clip in that AI has recreated the image of an actor. It's coming a long way. Um, in the long run, people will never die because of AI. Is that
Yeah.
a good or a bad thing? I don't know. Uh, there is good things and bad things about AI. All the fakery, all the scams and stuff like that. But if you're being nostalgic and bringing people back from the dead for just entertainment purposes like music, and I'm all for that. But yeah, it's one of those awkward situations at the moment, isn't it? AI. Is this going to be the beginning of Skynet? I'll be back.
Oh,
Um, but
I
how far do you let AI go?
I don't know. I mean, I've the things that I've seen recently, I found a channel on YouTube that was recreating history as
Mm.
if the Roman Empire had gone to space and the Carthaginians were camped out on Mars. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it
It
was
looks cool.
absolutely fucking gorgeous.
Yeah,
I
it looks
mean,
cool, doesn't it? Yeah.
mind-blowingly beautiful. I couldn't I can't tell you how absolutely amazing this was. I mean, you see these faces of long dead Rome. I mean, it was just amazing. So I really enjoyed that. I really did. And and then I've used AI to help me do reporting and other things at my job, but this is something that is small potatoes. I use and enjoy it for small potatoes, but I know it can be used for far more drastic things. And I see Vicky and I'm like, yeah, given where we are now, then yes, things could be quite hectic. And so,
I mean,
you
AI
know,
is moving forward in with a fast pace.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it is difficult to which side you take on it, but I'm down the middle. I can see that I can see the benefits,
yep.
as you say, as we've both said, we can see the
Ease of
dark.
reporting and glorious new historical stories, but you could also change the fact you could do some, what do you call it, structural reimagining or I don't know, whatever it's called, where you change history.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't got we're not at that stage in the AI evolution of androids,
Right,
physical androids,
exactly.
but with the AI where it's going, we could replace, let's say, newsreaders with
Uh-huh.
AI. People TV think on AI with AI, and you wouldn't need any of those people, which sometimes might be a good thing. Uh, but yeah, but we're nowhere near with the Android situation. But you could go down the route of replacing people on media frontage.
Yeah, people could definitely redo me in a better form. I mean,
I thought you were AI.
oh, you're so kind. Oh my God. Oh my God, you're so kind. No, that's why we're friends, because I mean, you're really encouraging and stuff. I just, but the reality is that it's not us, that it's not the normal folks that are going to have any sort of recompense on in AI. It's the powerful.
Oh
I,
yeah, yeah.
and so that's why I think that these three laws of robotics, I would it would behoove us greatly to hear Asimov. I mean, Asimov wrote 300 textbooks.
Jeez.
300 textbooks for biochemistry and primarily for biochemistry, but for a lot of other science subjects. And I just think that it would be so good if, we listen to him as a voice of reason. He was a good scientist. He did do, I've read a lot of his uh, science fiction stuff, and I read his Bible commentary, but and his book about being a pervy old dude. Um, I thought that was great. But the other thing that he if he would be a voice for reason, then these three laws of robotics need to be implemented.
This is it. If they're going to make artificial intelligence like
They
that,
need
they
they
need
need
to
something.
yeah, because if they don't go down on the Android route, will they implement the three laws, or do these people in power just think, oh, that's a bit of load of fluff and bunkum?
I don't know. It would be really important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we are at a tipping point with AI.
no joke.
As I said at the beginning of this, though, this movie is set only 10 years from now. It's not going to happen that quick. Not the way the androids was portrayed in this movie. Um,
No, but I mean, if it's Boston Dynamics has robots right now that are on the fast track. They're actually self-learning uh, robotic tools, and I just as they're teaching themselves how to wait tables, how to hold small delicate things, as
well,
well as
well,
create.
also saying that not so much in this country, but over there where you're in your country, you do have the small mobile delivery robots for, let's say, Amazon or wherever, going
Yeah,
down the streets.
yeah,
Literally, that is a robot.
right, exactly.
I mean, okay, it may get kicked over by some yobs and stuff like that, but it's going down the street on its own accord with a delivery inside of it.
Yeah, and the Disney's attempt to make BMO on the Andor, the TV show, the cute and but look like one. I mean, you just get you see you see what they were doing there. You're like,
Mm,
I agree. There are tons of robots here already,
yeah,
and
it just needs that essential push.
right.
Um, yeah, I mean, going back to the movie, this was 2004.
Mhm.
Back then, the effects, the CGI were amazing, but a little bit dated. It looks a little bit dated now with the design of the robots in the movie.
It does.
Um, yeah, so it was 2004. I mean, I was going to say early CGI, but early CGI was 90s, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
the
It was
yeah,
just that their ideas were dated. The
yeah,
idea of the robots were dated.
mm. It doesn't take
And
it.
the other thing that was dated was but was really interesting was the fact that they set it in Chicago or somewhere on the shores of Lake Michigan,
Mhm.
and that the lake was almost all the way gone, and all of those containers were filling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But yeah, I mean that the as I say, the aging of the effects and all of that doesn't take away from the story,
Right.
because the f-
Agreed.
the element of the story is taken from some good writing,
Right.
um, and you can't take that away from Asimov. So okay, Hollywood may have tweaked it here and bent a little here, which
Yeah.
they always do with any movie. Uh, but I enjoyed it. Any moments for you that stand out, Susan?
Well, yeah, I loved the ending where Sonny was standing there in the place where Spooner had stood earlier
Mm,
and was leading the the VR5s or the V5s or whatever it was. And Spooner had stood there and led the older model robots, because Spooner was the old guy looking at the
yeah,
past, enjoying the past, all these robots, and he'd finally gone, well, okay, these guys can help then. And then, Sonny was looking forward. So Sonny and Spooner were basically like, in some ways, two sides of the same coin.
yeah, yeah,
It was interesting that. I mean, one was forced to kill, and the other one is forced to be a cop. But I mean, that was, and then he was, of course, the old trope. Okay, they did end up relying on the old trope of the grumpy African American captain taking away the badge and the gun, where he lost the gun in that. Oh, another hugely amazing scene was the chase scene in the tunnel
oh yeah,
with those robot distribution trucks.
yeah. I mean,
Oh my God, that was crazy.
one of my favorite scenes was the chase scene in the house when it was being destroyed with Spooner and the cat.
Oh my gosh.
The Spooner and the cat kept up with each other, running away from the demolition bot,
You know,
and both ended up in the pond.
uh-huh. And the demolition bot was really was kind of like Ripley in the
Yeah,
forklift. Yeah, without Ripley.
anything with a cat in it. I look that scene was just
Oh
very.
no, I know.
He goes sliding down into the hole. The cat goes with him. They're both running
I
together.
know. Yes,
And the cat had a happy ending though because he got a new home.
I know. It's true.
So, anything else, Susan, about iRobot?
Mm. Um, yeah, I love how the Dr. Lanning set up questions in those holograms. That was really, it was a way of pushing the story forward. And then they also talked about the Ghost in the Machine,
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Ghost of the Machine.
which is a great sort of throwback to some other great science fiction and some other great stories in Asimov's canon. So I just really like that.
Cool, cool. So, shall we go to Final Sense Score?
Sure.
To you.
All right. Well, I've enjoyed Isaac Asimov's writings from day one. I mean, they as a middle school or junior high schooler to high schooler in that time frame, I read all the robot stories that I could get my hands on. And then in high school, I read all of the Foundation and the Empire stories. And then I waited around for a while for him to write some other stuff. And I didn't lose heart because he ended up finishing writing two prequels and two sequels to the to Foundation, which sort of lent it on and also and so I enjoy his stuff a lot. And the robot stories and the Empire stories uh all started with this one. This one was the first one uh that had to be solved, and it had a three laws kind of conundrum that a robot had to think about. And then Bicentennial Men came, and it was again this it was sort of it was almost exactly at the same time as this one in terms of Earth time, but yeah. And so I'll easily give this um 10 vials of nanites out of 10. This will come back in the next podcast that we do. I'm going to talk about them a lot. And because we're doing Asimov weekend this weekend, and so that's fun. And I enjoyed this so much, and I really honestly have. I mean, I would have rather it been played by somebody else, but at that point, Smith did a good job with this, um, and you can discuss the whole effects of what this political violence or public violence is in this movie. So yeah, there's that. So back over to you, Lee, and your final
Right.
scene.
What can I do here? Right. It'll be Will Smith. So I would say minus a point there. Minus half a point because the effects have not aged too well, but it's got a cat in it, so I'll give that half a point back.
Uh-huh.
So for me, it's going to be nine demolition bots out of 10. The cat upped it there for me, but yeah, well, I've always put off movies when you hear Will Smith in it. Um,
Me too.
I don't know why. It's like I have that. You have the same effect when Tom Hanks is in a movie with me. I sometimes give or take Tom Hanks. Some movies are good, some movies grind my gears. But yeah, so it's not a bad score.
Nope. Not
So
bad.
yeah, that's our little review of iRobot. And I will tell you, me and Susan have both got a copy of this. And could we find it?
Not.
I've looked all over it. Susan's looked all over.
Mm,
It's a bit strange that
yeah.
both of us can't find our copies of iRobot at the same week.
Yeah.
Somebody's been in and pinched it.
Yeah, I bet that's true.
Yeah, so you guys out there, if you've seen this movie, let us know what you thought of it. If you've read any of Asimov's books, let us know what you thought of his theory, robotic theories, um,
3 laws.
the laws of robotics. Um, if you'd like to join us, please leave a message on the video because or any of our videos. All we ask of you is to be 18 plus, and that is the only Geeks Assemble law we
Yep.
have, isn't it, Susan? We've only got one. We're not greedy, uh, not like the robots. Um, but yeah, just leave a message below on this video or any other video that you'd like to join us on these casts or join our group. Say 18 plus, because some things we review are adult related. So also as well, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, please remember to press the bell notification button and you'll get notified every time we put up a video. Um, that's it, isn't it, Susan?
Yep.
Yeah, efficient, done efficiently, just like an Android.
Quite right.
But we haven't got artificial intelligence. There again, have we got intelligence? The way things are going in this world, I very much doubt it.
Mm.
Hmm. And on that bombshell, please keep safe out there. Bye for now.